Firstly, I'm very grateful for how the day went today. I mentioned one special person who stood by me, Anushka, through these tough times. And I mentioned her because she's seen the absolute raw side of me throughout all these, months that have gone by, which have been very tough, to be honest. In the very prime peak years of my career from 16 to 19, I had constant suggestions and whatnot to switch and this, that, and the other. And at one point, it did become really tough for me because there was just too much happening in my career. I was captaining India for a period of 7-8 years. I was captaining RCB for 9 years. There was expectations on me from a batting perspective every game that I played. I didn't have this sense that the attention is off me. I also asked myself the question that what is more valuable to me? I have won a lot of things in my career for India. I have won a lot of accolades as well. Playing for India, there's always something that can keep you engaged in a wrong way in terms of desires, Okay, everything but this. That but is never going to go away. So I thought, fine, what is of more value to me today? So I felt like, what? For me, what's more valuable is the relationship and the mutual respect that has been created over so many years. So she's the one who kept putting things in perspective for me, kept giving me the right kind of guidance, right kind of vision moving forward. And I came back into the system a very relaxed person. I wasn't desperate to prove anything to anyone in the real sense. I mean, not in a way that, I have done everything, but it was just about enjoying the game, understanding what God has blessed you with already over so many years, and then just being humble in the hard work and going out there and doing the grind all over again. That was basically what zone I came back in. And as I said, God has blessed me with a lot of good times in the past, and that's why I'm in this position where these things can be spoken about. I'm not saying that, I feel an inflated sense of ego standing here saying I have created this. It's just happened to me. Yeah. And I have absolute no shame in admitting that God is blessing us all with everything that's in our destiny, and we just have to work hard. I've had many suggestions, a lot of advice come my way, and people are telling me I'm doing this wrong and that wrong, and I picked out all the videos of best times I had. The same initial movement, the same approach towards the ball. It was just what was going on inside my head that I could not explain to anyone. So at the end of the day, as an individual where you stand and what you need to do for your journey. And people will have their opinions. They are entitled to have their opinions, but they cannot feel what you're feeling. So I was very realistic about my abilities because I'd seen a lot of other people play and I did not feel like my game was anywhere close to theirs. The only thing that I had was the determination. And if I wanted to make my team win, I was willing to do anything. And that was the very reason I got chances to play for India initially. And Gary and MS made it very clear to me that we are backing you to play at number 3, and this is what you can do for the team, and what you represent on the field, your energy, your engagement, that is of the biggest value to us. So we want you to play that way.
I don't really worry about the opposition, the bowlers or the field placements. It's all about, me getting to start the innings the way I want to, and then in the end I back myself to explode, which has always been my strength. So
I was never looked at as this outright match winner who can change the game from anywhere, but I had this thing of I'm going to stay in the fight. I'm not going to give up, and that is what they backed. So that very thing that God blessed me with, that helped me to improve my game, my technique, everything. And I've never been shy to admit that I was not the most, technically sound and naturally gifted player. I evolved a lot while I was playing because I was very keen to learn and I was very keen to get better. And I wanted to be the best. There is no denying that I wanted to be the best. And that hunger, that desire to keep improving, eventually to win more games for your team is what helped me improve my game. So I played my first series in Sri Lanka, and then I was left out of the team for a while because I had come into the team because Sachin Paji had a niggle, and then when he came back, there was not space left for me. I had to wait for my chance again, and then Champions Trophy 2009 in South Africa, Yuipa got a finger, I think he got a fracture or something, and then they called me in. So they used to tell me, keep your suitcase with you, keep your clothes packed, and keep your passport on you at all times. I was always a standby. So they called me over. I was in Bangalore actually. They asked me to fly over immediately. So when I went over, the very next game that I played was Pakistan in 3 days' time. And that was my first India-Pakistan game. And I think scored about 16 or something. And I tried to hit Shahid Afridi for a 6 straight down in Centurion, and I got caught at long off. And we lost that game.
It was an important moment in the game, and my heart was beating like so fast through that whole innings. I just could not process everything that happened within a span of 4 days. And I remember us losing that game. Of course, it was a big loss, Champions Trophy. And I just could not sleep. I was awake till 5 in the morning. I was just staring at the ceiling. I was like, this is it. Like, I've been called after a year and I've just messed it all up.
I was, not able to believe in myself enough. But, now when I look back at those things, those are perfect instances of, the saying that whatever has to happen will happen. You don't have to sit. I mean, even in the most desperate times, something will come to you, naturally. A thought or a mind-changing situation or an incident. You just wake up the next day feeling a completely different person. And I don't know what happened to me after Sydney. I just, from the moment the test match ended, I just kept telling myself, I've got 8 one-day hundreds at the international level. I am good enough to play test cricket. And no one had to tell me that. I started telling myself that whenever I entered the ground for practice or for the test match. I just kept telling myself that. And that thought came to me very naturally. So yeah, that's when you believe that, there is a certain power up there, which if you're honest towards what you're doing, you'll always be shown the way. But you have to make sure that when it comes your way, you actually grab it and you work even harder towards it.
So I have felt these last few months in a very, very different way, which is a very, very special time in my life because my perspective had to change for me to move forward in life, not just in cricket. So I feel blessed about that time that I was able to sit back, really accept things, really go absolutely to the bottom and then work my way slowly back up again where I can just enjoy what I'm doing.
I understand the importance of this particular sport in my life. I understand and I remember the times that I've seen when I was young, trying to make a breakthrough into international cricket. And you should never forget those times and those struggles. As they say, you should never forget where you come from. So I think it's in my subconscious. It's something that I don't have to think about. Maybe that's the reason that pushes me, every time that I do anything on the field to give my absolute best that I can. And it doesn't matter if I've scored runs or I haven't. Unless my body doesn't break down, till the time I'm fit and fine and running around, I will give my 120%. I understand that in this day and age, the amount of cricket that we play, it's very important to start fresh and keep that sort of hunger going, because you can burn out pretty quickly and the performance level can go down pretty quickly as well. And even the bad phases that one has, they can be stretched for longer than usual because we don't have time to recover and think about the game in between. So I've come to terms with understanding how to keep going the good mindset that I'm in. And I think the less you think about it, the more you can stay in the zone. That's what I've experienced in the past few months. One thing that I've done regularly when I go into plays is check my heart rate, where it is. If it's not beating fast, then I know, okay, fine, I'm still in that good space. I can make good decisions, so I trust myself more in that situation. And just keeping things very, very simple. I know it sounds very boring or it sounds the usual, but that's exactly been one of the key factors, why I've been able to start every innings the same way in the past few games that I've played.
As far as my own game is concerned, yes, I have looked to make a few changes, which I'm very happy about because I had to kind of go out of my comfort zone and try different things. Again, the fear of failure cannot enter that space. So I knew that I'm going to get out a few times and that's okay.
Every time that you go out to play, every ball that you play in every game, be it a test match, be it a one-day match or a T20 game, I always give my 120% on each ball. Even in a test match, if it's the 88th over of the day, if there's a stop to be made, I'll go for it. Because the most important thing for me is to keep in mind what the team needs to achieve in terms of the target to win a game of cricket. For me, victory is the greatest feeling, and that for me is the biggest craving. Milestones along the way obviously feel even much better, but I think the eventual result while chasing, because I know there's a target on the board, and if you achieve that target, it's a victory, and that feeling that I crave, I'm going to be able to achieve that with my teammates.
And I'm just going to see it through now. It's whether we win or we don't win, it's fine. The love that I've received from the fans, I don't think any silverware or any trophy can come close to that, because the impact of that love from people hits you very different to winning something and that next morning it's all gone. I don't know how this is going to shape up. I had a lot of moments like that where I really, really doubted myself, and I had to, again, kind of recalibrate and find a way to slowly build up again and just try to focus on what is in front of me and what might go wrong, in whatever amount of time. The T20 final, I was more grateful than proud. I knew that I'm going to retire after that. Yeah, irrespective, my decision was made. Like, I was very clear that this is my last T20 tournament. And I was just grateful for the fact that I was not able to get runs through the tournament, and how, like, I was put in that pressure situation again. And without having a sense of I was walking in with no confidence. I have to be very honest. And then when things are supposed to unfold for you, I get 3 balls, I get 3 boundaries, and I'm like, what is this game? Like, one day you feel like you can't get a run, and suddenly you walk into one of the biggest days of your career, and things just start happening. And then you're put in this situation where the team needs you, and this performance happens through you. And you're like, how? And that's when you kind of understand, okay, this is the amount of hard work. And then you arrive to the ground, and then whatever has to take place will take place. The preparation is in my hands. The results are not in my hands. I just have to stay true to my instinct. If I have to hit the ball, I have to hit the ball. That is my only responsibility. Where that ball goes, how the execution will happen, we tend to forget this, and I've consciously tried to be aware of this through my career, that it keeps you calm. So not hitting a boundary for me is not a problem. It doesn't make me feel like something wrong is happening. This thing will never be highlighted, but the kind of pressure you can create as a fielder through the middle overs, for that you need physical preparation. Every ball, same intensity for 40 overs. It doesn't come on the day. It comes with the work that happens off the field. How you eat, how you sleep, how you train, how well you are prepared physically. Then you'll be able to go there and say, okay, for 100 overs, this is the intensity I have to put out, and I'm ready for it. So it's the composure that comes with a lot of experience of having played that way. Then you can start creating a difference. So I think with time, all these guys will realize that this is the kind of effort that's going to take to be very efficient in ODI cricket.